this last one, I'm going to be doing this bird.
Oh, fine.
So this one actually isn't using any of the patinas. I'm going to be using the embossing powders. And I've got some normal emboss powders, some distress powders, and I've got some of the antiquities.
So the distress embossing powders will also work.
Right, yeah. So any embossing powder, place the blank in. And for these, you're going to want to make sure you're not using a spoon because you only need a tiny bit of the color. So you just pinch it with your fingers and drop it in the piece. Okay. So that was the verdigris. And then I'm going to go in with the copper, which this is really pretty because it's got that really shiny look. So I'm just sprinkling in random sections. And then I've got the yellow.
That's the ochre, right?
Yep.
I still remember.
Okay. So next I'm going to take, yeah, thank you. So this is the swooping swallow. And then I'm going to take the white side of the reliefing block and just highlight the raised areas. It just gives it that nice finish.
Is that the finest grit on that side?
Yeah, so that's the finest grit, and then the dark sides are both the same. Those are heavy grit, and that's for the patina.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then this light gray side, that's a polishing side. So that's just going to polish your piece. So then you're going to want to place it on your blank. And so the thing with the embossing powders is if you leave them in your pot for too long, they'll start to oxidize and you'll start to get white around the edges, which is fine if you like that look. You just have to keep that in mind. Also, if you look closely, I'm going to move this around a little bit. You'll see on that tip that started to get white as well. So once you have your charm in the pot, you're going to want to make sure you try and not to move it around too much. Okay.
A lot of those powders, they have a white core to it, and that's what's starting to show through.
So yeah, just add the powder, the UD in the center, and that's going to go in and fill in the wings and attach that to the blank. Okay. Okay, so this one's ready to go. Oh, actually, I've got a little spot in there that hasn't been covered, so I'm just gonna fill that in with a little more. Okay. So once again, that embossing powder is pulled up around that blank, so I'm just gonna slide it on the paper or on the craft sheet away from it, and that's gonna all come off. So then once that's dry, that should be ready to go.